All right, here we are, the last day of BPAA Bowl Expo here at the Orange County Convention Center, trade show floor. Here we are with multi-award winning, like 2012 BPAA Mike Hennessy Award, one of our great heroes, past president of BPAA, and now becoming a native Floridian, John LaSpina.
Not a bad thing.
No, it's great, isn't it?
Mike was my good buddy too.
Yeah, were you there for Mike's Hall of Fame induction?
I was not, but Mike and I are Long Island natives. He went to the same school my son Joe went to. We were kindred spirits. And I told a great story of he and I on a water slide in some water park somewhere where the kids had to run and hide from their parents.
The vision of Mike Hennessy.
We only embarrassed everyone around us. Great memory.
Yeah, I mean, he could have won last comic standing on his Hall of Fame acceptance speech.
Yeah, one of a
day.
kind.
I mean, he was absolutely terrific.
And you know, this is, you mentioned Bowl Expo. This is my 40th in a row.
Wow.
And I touched people like Mike Hennessy and some of the greats that really influenced my career and how I wanted it to be framed and how I wanted it to, you know, progress. And I smile because of people like that.
Yeah, you know, this is like maybe my 20th, and it's nice to see, yeah, this is my first one, and well, what do you think? Wow, this is tremendous. I mean, I never realized the bowling industry could be like this.
And the cool thing is it's still evolving.
Yes.
Because who would have thought there'd be zip lines and bungee
Wrestling
jumping
matches.
and wrestling and, you know, and what I look for is how can I continue to keep an innovative business going, keep it successful, stay to the core value of the product that we love dearly, competitive real live bowling, and still survive. You know,
we talk about competitive real life bowling. Back in the day, Maple Lanes, and we talk about Brooklyn Butch and all the action shooters. I mean, you were right in the middle of it all.
Well, I was sheltered from it because my dad,
the bowling center.
My dad didn't really like all that stuff. There was a story that Billy Hardwick did lose some hair when my father brought him out of the place, hair first, but that's a long time ago.
So that's why he had the crew cut after that, I guess.
I think so. Yeah, I think my dad had something to do with that, you know.
So your dad being the founder of Maple Lanes.
My dad was a house builder. His neighbor said his brother was in the business, that they should go in together and build a bowling center. My father agreed. He built this building. Some months before opening, my mom and dad were driving through the neighborhood. My mom saw the Mapleton branch of the public library. That neighborhood was called the Mapleton section, and my mother loved it because it had PL in the name Maple, which were my dad's initials, Peter LaSpina. So hence Maple Lanes.
Wow, now we know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
And at one point, I guess the umpire got up to, what, like 7 bowling centers at one time?
Oh, me? No, I think I've had the most at one time was 6, and that was a handful. We're at 5 at the moment. And, you know, the challenge is to run them right. It doesn't matter how many you have. I look back to the good old days when we just had Maple, and where I knew every customer. I almost know every employee. It gets more difficult with the new hires and the part-time nature of the business. But other than that, I try to engage with all my good customers. I know every league officer. I visit the place while they're bowling. If the air conditioning isn't working, I know it before they know it. If the lanes are drier than they want it to be, I know it because I'm still a bowler and I still care about presenting a product that satisfies a customer. So never forgot that basic premise.
The human contact. Yeah, the absentee proprietor just cannot make it in today's market.
Well, when you're a multiple, at one point or another, you're absentee.
From 1/6 or 1/7 of the time,
you can't be everywhere. So my challenge is, can I keep the standards up? Can I train enough people in our kind of folksy style to deliver the product that we want? And you know, we do something called the blue sheet every week, where we cycle every machine, we look at every pin setup, we make sure the hand dryer is working, we make sure the foul lights work, and the consoles are clean and clear, and very, very basic stuff. And, especially in Clearwater, one woman said to Billy, the manager, that's alarming to me that you're doing that. And I sat with the woman. I said, that's insurance, so you bowl better, and that you're satisfied when you leave.
Yeah, I mean, preventive maintenance, that's got to be done. You just can't fix things.
But if you look at it from a bowler's perspective, you guys call it the bowling circles. That's actually a new word for me. But so much happens down there, and so many people in my field, who have my job, ignore that space. That's very primary, because that's where our customers live, and I want that whole experience to be positive. So it takes time, and it takes training and nurturing people to see it through our eyes. Some days are great and some days are frustrating.
And you Countryside Lanes, you got a great guy running that, Billy.
Billy's great.
He's just unbelievable.
Thank you, appreciate it. We were lucky that
Billy
we connected.
Finocchi. Let's get the name out there.
Billy Finocchi is a wonderful young man. He came to me through a friend of mine, Joe Schumacher, who heard we were in Clearwater and knew that Billy was nearby and was looking for a new position, and he put us together, and I met him one day, flew him to New York to meet the crew. He passed the litmus test, and he's worked hard ever since.
And then one of the other great additions to the staff is worldwide renowned Ashley Galante.
Isn't that a nice move?
Stole her.
Wonderful bowler.
Well, no, I don't know if I stole her. It was just such the right thing to do. We became successful because of the Learn to Bowl programs on the Duquesne projector with a big record and a film strip.
You remember those too, huh?
It put me on the map. Alberta Crow loved me because I wound up sanctioning 1,500 women who never bowled before. And when I was a kid, she fussed over me at a convention. And what did it do? It gave customers lessons. It motivated them to improve their skill. And what it did for me was increase commitment. And when I saw Ashley, I knew she could be the catalyst for someone who needed her first job. And I knew she'd have to be a pioneer. And I knew if she embraced bowling 2.0, we'd go on the map one more time, maybe 35 years later.
Yeah, going back to the original Duquesne with the record. And it was, oh man, what a great thing when they put the little tape players in there.
Nothing beat the Duquesne projector. I love that.
A lot of bowlers got put into leagues with those things. Back then, we could call people's houses and they would actually answer a phone.
That's right. The no-call list has hurt us. And also women being in the workforce, unlike they were 30-some-odd years ago. In Brooklyn, there were neighborhoods of different ethnicities, and we would have Italian-speaking operators. We'd have Jewish women calling their neighborhoods. We had leagues out of apartment buildings. So we'd start on the first floor and go to the 7th, and they'd have their own nucleus of a league, and it's...
And you'd have that first week of the class, and there'd be 30 people there.
That's right.
And next week there'd be 40, and the next week there'd be 50.
And the real key is how many can you convert into a league? And we literally put thousands of people into league bowling, committed to us. Some of them are still there, still bowling away.
So it's old as new again.
Yeah, exactly right. And we pushed BPAA to do bowling 2.0. Al Blau was an extraordinary advocate of it, and I helped a little bit.
There's another Lebanon bowler over there, Mark Gerbrich, who's right behind us. We're talking about York, and so some great names there. Countryside Lanes now kind of put the Maple logo in there, so it's kind of. But what's different about running a center in Florida than it is in New York?
What's different?
Other than the seniors.
Well, we have seniors too, and it's funny. Many of them were young when they bowled with us in New York, so I've reconnected. My favorite story is Alan and Bob Bonvicino. They're a set of twins like our age.
Yeah.
I have one in Coram and I have one in Clearwater. So no matter where I go, I'm looking at the same face,
You're following me.
Yeah. And what's different? I would say the core issue is the same. People want consistent lane conditions from week 1 to week 30-something. People are looking for value. People are looking for camaraderie. They're looking for a safe haven. They're looking for cleanliness and quality, and we kind of push that a lot. The first thing I did was hire the cleaning lady from the hotel I was staying at, and she makes the place shine. And I have profound respect for people who have that job because they make me look good. So I make sure I treat them with great respect. And a lot of people say, well, you're the top guy. Why would that matter? That matters a lot because they get the read from the customer right away. And if they do their job right, I get the information very quickly about what's going on. And is the corner air conditioning unit out and we were the last to know about it? It's amazing the information you get when you engage with your frontline staff.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, being down in the bowler circles, talking with the bowlers before they get to the bars and the pro shops to fix it right away.
That's it.
And
but it's amazing how we could be the last to know. We could be the last to know that someone has to reset a machine to get a full cycle.
Yep.
You know, because it's just not a call that people make. They just hit the button. Which is why my blue sheet always helps me because I'll catch that.
And then 3 weeks later, they'll complain they're half an hour late because the machine wasn't working.
That's right.
Did you tell anybody?
No. Well,
they wouldn't fix it anyway.
But you know what? It's our responsibility, not theirs. You know, it's like a restaurant. You're only as good as the last meal you serve. So I don't blame the bowler for any of it, really. You know, I'll probably blame him for not letting me know, for being too polite. Maybe it's the Brooklyn thing. I'd rather know where I stand than not know where I stand.
You made a lot of great adjustments and modifications, and you put a lot of people really appreciate that.
I know.
It looks completely different from when you took it over to if you walked in there right now and you're still doing things.
We did some non-sexy things. We fixed air conditioning that no one knew anything about because you don't see it. You feel it. You walk in now and there's not like an airlock as you walk in. You don't smell those French fries that you did last summer. We fixed half of the roof. No one really, they smelt it, they didn't see it. And we spend a lot of time planning with pencil and paper so that when we finally do make the move, it's a well thought out, well planned move. And sometimes we'll build it and then rebuild it. But our efforts now are handling the renovations as logically, cost efficient wise, and as comfortable as we can make it for the bowlers. You know.
Yeah, what I found when you started the senior tournament in April, and I got the flyer on it, and I go, I've been bowling terrible for the last 2 years. But John's one of our new sponsors.
And then you went and you won.
I'll come out. I bowl 8 games. I never stuck one shot. I didn't have a bad rack. Being left-handed helps.
It does.
But I mean, average 240, and it's the best I've bowled in a long time. It got my interest in competitive bowling back again.
That's good.
So I love that.
Well, I'm going to give a push for the LT48 with my friend Petraglia's name on it because it's made me a better bowler and it's piqued my interest in it.
Yeah.
And it just works for me. So I know nothing about bowling balls. Phil is brilliant about it. I just know that one works for me. And when something works, it does pique your interest and it does keep you going. So I was at the extravaganza and I took lessons after 58 years. I'm still trying to learn. And I love it.
Well, let's bring up the knees. I guess that's been slowing you down a little bit.
It has been slowing me down for a while.
So we're going to finally fix it this time?
Well, I'm going to fix my left knee so I can keep bowling.
There you go.
And that's why I'm doing it. That's my motivating factor. And when I get back to New York, my question to my physician is, can you get me a knee that bends more than less so I can get lower on the lane? And there are times he'll make me go in his hallway and show me my approach so he knows how low I want to go. And so far it's been pathetic. But
is that going to be the proverbial, Doc, can I bowl again? Says John, you never could before.
I know. He is smitten. He has a number of people either in the bowling business or bowlers. And he comes to me and says, I can't believe how involved you are in bowling. Everyone seems to know you. I said, yeah, it comes with age.
Yeah. You know? Well, I mean, that's like walking around the trade show. There's no such thing as a straight line.
No,
we got to go over there, got to go over here.
And it's funny, as we get older, we remember faces and not names, and it looks like the print on the badges is smaller. They're actually larger. But it's Bowl Expo is a wonderful thing. It brings lots of people together. I put together our friends Dan and Fran and our friends Jamie and Peggy together on the bus. Dan and Fran own a bowling center in Buffalo. Jamie's owned 43 places in his life. And I had them chat about it. And I talked about why I got involved in BPAA. And it was to learn from people like Jamie, who've probably forgotten more than I'll ever know.
Jamie being Jamie
Brooks.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Wally and Ruben Dankoff and Doc Terranova and all the Mubic people from Dick Richards to Bob Palin from King Louis Shirts, who had a chain of bowling centers. Great people have touched me and allowed me to learn from them and allowed me to teach them what I know.
Yeah, like yesterday, I made a phone call because I got an extra pass, so I called Skip Ruckert.
Nice.
And
Wow.
said, I'm sorry, I can't make it out. I got company visiting, but guess who I had lunch with today? Bill Kratzenberg.
Nice. I see him a lot. It's good to see Bill. He's a good guy.
Okay.
But he's one of those people who have a lifetime of experience.
Yep.
So I'll say to him, gee, I'm having some problems with my cost of goods, and he'll look at my financial statement and he'll tell me what my problem is. Well, I'll look at the darn thing for 3 or 4 months, and I won't even know what it is. So it's a wonderful wonderful asset, BPAA. You know, if you use it, it enhances your experience.
Yeah,
and someone came to me, Reggie Frederick came to me 2 days ago, and he said, I quoted you. I said, you quoted me? He said, yeah, you know, many years ago when you were in the state of Washington, you said that you only get out of BPA what you put in. And the more you put in, the more you take out.
Yep.
And it still works 40 years later.
So it's great to see you, John.
Thank you, Bill.
We'll see you
Appreciate it.
an
Much
hour
good
and a
luck
half
to you.
down the road.
Thank you.